man's personality and character is exuded through his haircut. Your image is important. Our high-end services range from a traditional haircut and shave to gray blending, beard shaping, and unwanted hair removal. Located at 425 Victoria Avenue East. Book your appointment online now at modernmen.ca or call Tammy, 306-522-4111. Modern Men, a haircut for the modern man.
Hello, I'm Sean McNall, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. McNall in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, we have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
No.
Biz Nasty says the Leafs will win the Cup.
How about that?
Can I just say that he's a Leaf fan? He came on the show and admitted he's a closet Leaf fan. So I think when you are making projections for the team that you are a fan of, you're a little clouded.
Just because the lack of recent playoff success, everybody's kind of nervous to make a prediction and put that weight behind the Leafs.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is. Thank you, Rick Regan, and welcome, Canada, to your favorite sports talk show. Your favorite daytime live sports talk show, and the only daytime live sports talk show. I'm Rod, and he's Moose.
That's right.
How are you, Moose?
Really good.
It's really catching on, isn't it, that nickname?
Yeah.
Moose.
And I wasn't until Rob Vanstone printed it in the Leader Post that I'm like, oh, it's in print now?
Moose DuPont, yeah.
Must be stick.
When you had that cold on the weekend, did you have a sore throat?
I had the start of one, but it came and gone really fast.
Okay.
Like,
What's really fast? 24 hours?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like it was, I didn't even develop into a sore throat.
Nobody would know by listening, I don't think, but sort of feel like I got a cold coming on. So bear with me. And you know, what time was it? It was around 11 o'clock when we left the hockey arena last night.
Yeah, it was late.
Turn around and come back and do the show today, which isn't bad, except when you... Who's calling me? John Lynch.
Of course it is.
What a John Frank. You wouldn't... I should have hit answer and put it on speakerphone.
He should have.
Well, we're off to a rousing start. Welcome to episode number 453 of Canada's daytime sports talk show.
If it's your first meeting and you forgot to put your phone on vibrate, press 1.
Yeah, exactly. Coming up on the program today, Arash Madani from Rogers Sportsnet. He wants to talk a lot of Blue Jays baseball. Taylor Shire, our director of officiating, will be joining us, also of Global Television. And Richie Sutter of the Columbus Blue Jackets. That's coming up in hour 2. Shout out Winnipeg. Rob Somerville watching on Facebook. He says, Moose's jacket looks awesome. And for the listeners that don't know, you're wearing a Winnipeg Jets jacket.
Jets won.
Sweet.
Leafs lost.
And we'll get to that in the leftovers here. Wayne in Victoria, BC says, I'm just sitting back in my den watching the RP show and having coffee in my RP show mug. Great times. Thanks for joining us for Caliber Coffee today. And while we're talking about what we're wearing, I got this, what the heck? Tommy Bahama. I was going to say Tommy Hilfiger, but it's not. It's got it at an outlet mall in Orlando. And man, am I getting some wanderlust. Okay, I got to get back to Florida, and soon.
I know.
Here's a great story, by the way. I got a buddy who watches the show every day in Vegas. I don't understand why we have thousands of viewers in Vegas, but we do. I think it's for the CFL talk. And he was a scout in the Jones Army. He's one of the Jones guys. Okay. And he says, I love when Chris Jones comes to Vegas because I pick him up at the airport and we go straight to Tommy Bahama. There's one on the south. You people in Vegas know what I'm talking about. South Las Vegas Strip. Not South Point, but around there, there's that mall with Tommy Bahama right off the strip. And Jones buys like 20 black Tommy Bahama summer shirts.
Yeah.
Right? Can't imagine what he probably gets a deal. They love when they see Chris Jones coming. Anyways, let's hit the quick six show topics, please, Director Gordon. Otherwise, I'm going to get lost in comments from our viewers because they're coming in like crazy on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and text. Phil Reese is watching in Miami. He says maybe the XFL will finally bring on the Manatees to South Florida. That would be a cool name, the Manatees.
Yeah.
That's the kind of bird, right? Or is it a fish? Or is it both? It's an orca? It's like a walrus, you guys? I don't know. It's a Florida thing. I suggest we go down there and find out for ourselves.
Yeah, I'm in.
Here's the leftovers from last night in the National Hockey League, keeping in mind that we were broadcasting a hockey game here on television. I did watch the first two periods of the Leafs-Oilers game, which the Leafs won in overtime, but Matthews versus McDavid it's magical. It's so. Do you understand in Canada how lucky we are to have those two on television almost every night? Seems like every night that they're going against each other. Wasn't that the 9th meeting between the two?
It's sad because I think that was the last one.
Till the playoffs.
Oh, I can only hope.
Tank Abbott, one of our viewers, says a manatee is a sea cow.
Okay.
Who wins a series between Toronto and Edmonton? That's our poll question for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center, because inevitably Toronto and Edmonton will meet in the Stanley Cup playoffs somewhere down the line, probably round 2.
Yeah.
What are they saying on Facebook, Clark? And I forgot to tweet it. Do we have a result yet, or are we too early in the polls? It's okay. He wasn't ready for it. It's okay. What was Matthew Tkachuk doing last night? He was back checking, and then he just fell over and tried to sell it as that he got tugged down.
Yeah.
And what's going on with the screen there? Okay. Patrick Marlow, how did this happen? He's 10 games played behind Gordie Howe for the most games played in NHL history. He's going to hit it. Where did that come from?
I know.
And out of all of that, those are two Sask boys. Patty Marlow from Aneroid, Saskatchewan, and Gordie Howe from Floral, Saskatchewan. Two guys, NHL all-time games played leader. And instead of dumping on the Buffalo Sabres like everybody else, I'm just going to say, are the Philly Flyers the comeback kids? No, Buffalo folded like a cheap suit, like a cheap card table last night.
You could feel it. Minute and a half to go, and they tie the game, and you can just feel the hearts being ripped out of the Buffalo Sabres.
Oh, it's gone.
It's gone.
They have no heart left.
Completely gone.
Moving on, can I just say this about Connor Bedard, the holy child? You people that tweet at me and say that you get upset when I refer to Connor Bedard, the exceptional player, as the holy child, and you what do they say? It's annoying or something on Twitter? You just make me want to do it more when you do that. But anyways, the exceptional player last night had a goal and 3 assists. He's 15 years old in major junior hockey. He's got 17 points in 9 games. You wouldn't want to put a highlight of that on SportsCenter, would you? TSN or Sportsnet connected? Really? Oh, no. Let's talk about the soccer team routing the Cayman Islands 11-0. Or whatever it was. If you want to know why Canadian sports fans are being brainwashed and Americanized, blame TSN and Sportsnet. Sorry to say. Anyways, point 3, CFL, XFL leftovers. And I love me some leftovers, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
You and I were talking about this 2021 season, and like I got to think there's going to be an announcement coming very soon on either a suspension of training camp or an outright cancellation of the season. John Frenzia said May 1st, he heard, is the drop-dead date for an announcement on a season in 2021. You roundabout agreed. Are you not expecting an announcement at some point here, imminently?
Yeah, we are 6 weeks. I was just pulling up the calendar to make sure, away from what's supposed to be the start of training camp, maybe 6.5 weeks. And, from players we've spoken with and, just understanding timelines and everything, if you're near your city, you're going to play in. So if you're in Regina or around Regina, you're playing, you probably need 3 to 4 weeks to get everything in order, get in camp shape, all that kind of stuff, some notice. But if you're coming in from out of country, if you're an American, we're hearing they need 6 to 8 weeks. We're 6.5 weeks away from what's supposed to be the start of training camp. So unless we hear that it's starting on time now, it's already too late. Like, it would already be too tight to get it in and get everybody ready and down here in time and quarantined and everything else that needs to happen. 6 to 8 weeks. So we're already past starting the season on time. It's over.
Yeah, so where's the announcement? That's all that I'm saying.
Yeah. Because I think the reason maybe there might not be an announcement, do they have a backup plan? Is it delayed 2 weeks now? Is it delayed a month? You got to decide. What's the first hurdle? Are you going to delay it all the way to Labor Day now? Or are you going to say...
You don't have to do anything. You could say it's suspended indefinitely.
There you go.
Which would, I think, allow some people to get on with their lives. Anyways, from our viewers, Jeff, Stamps fan in Calgary, says, I saw several members of the Stamps working out on the historic McMahon turf on Saturday. Cool, you got to work out somewhere. From J. Rod says, morning, guys. Did the Pats win? Yeah, they did. I'm getting to that. 9-4 over the Swift Current Broncos last night. The Holy Child. A goal and 3 assists. John Campbell says, love the show, Rod. Keep up the good stuff. And I want to introduce a new thing here called viewer mail. Why not?
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want. Sponsored by U.S. Postal Service.
I like it.
Something like that.
FedEx.
So you see the mail as it comes in just like I do. Here's one. Hey, Rod. I hope you and the team are doing well. I'm 29 and from the Toronto area. I just discovered your show last September 2020. I love it. I love all the Canadian sports content from CEBL, CPL, CFL, SJHL, AHL, and WHL. You guys keep it real. Reminds me of The Score back in the 90s. I grew up playing football, started watching football as a kid. I guess it's strange that a 20-year-old is into the CFL, but I think that's the problem with the CFL prior to COVID. Mark Cohan did a great job focusing on the grassroots. I remember there were huge changes in how youth football was supported under his tenure. I think it's trying to reignite the passion for the support amongst the grassroots and investing in it, not just the players that retire and investing back into their communities. He goes on and on and on, but says, thanks, boys. Keep up the great work. Much appreciated. Daryl in Toronto. How about that? And he's 29. They're dying for CFL talk. That's the one thing that we know, right?
Yeah.
And can I say one more? This dude, Brad, I don't want to embarrass him here, but he sent a proposal for how the CFL should play. And he actually linked it. It was a news link in the XFL News Hub website, XFL News Hub. Don't send this stuff to me. Send it to Randy Ambrosi. Don't you know, I told you a guy in Phoenix wrote me like a 30-point plan how to save the CFL. I'm like, what are you telling me for? It reminds me when I walked into Starbucks several years ago, is when Chamberlain was coaching the Riders, and John Frenzy was there with one of his buddies. And they're like, hey, Rod, have a look at this. We got the roster pick. It was just like 10 days into training camp. I'm like, why would I care to look at that? You're not the coach. And then the look, I just broke his heart.
I know.
But I'm like, if you want to go pick the team, go ahead. But I don't care.
Don't give me the book. If you're going to do it, because...
Go give it to Chamberlain.
But you want us to talk about it on the show, and maybe it is a great plan and we can talk about it. But we need the Coles notes.
You're right.
Not the book, not the manuscript. We need the Coles notes.
This is pretty much Cole's notes, by the way. He says schedule begins in early April. The first 10 games, the XFL and CFL play a few interleague games, followed by a 2-week CFL, XFL playoff championship series in July. The XFL season is over. CFL resumes their regular season for the following 8 weeks. That sounds kind of confusing to me. But again, that came from the XFL News Hub site. But that's figuring out how this is going to work is not something I spend any time on. And I'm not going to spend any time reading other people's plans because I got other things to think about. We got a hockey game tonight. It's a Trans-Canada Clash, baby. The Hub Center's going to be rocking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, from Trevor Basillo. He says, how come there's not more talk of Ehlers on the Jets? He's great. Trevor, come on. We can't talk about everybody. I saw the Ehlers move last night, and that was just absolute filth. The fake drop pass, then kicked it up to himself, went around Jacob Markstrom. Listen, the Jets are good. That's not a news flash. We can't stroke him in the leftovers every day. And I guess, might be a good poll question. People were upset this morning when I tweeted who would win in a playoff series between the Oilers and Leafs, and people are like, what about the Jets? Well, they'll be in another playoff series, okay? We're just talking about 2 other teams. Come on. 10 days ago, you wanted to fire the damn coach and run him out of town. And now you're wondering why they're not getting more, not you specifically, Trevor, but come on. I'm not tagging along for the roller coaster ride of Jetsville. We're on the Jets train, okay? But there are other teams. A couple other things. For opening day, Major League Baseball, I think we're all getting excited for it, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Jays-Yankees on Thursday.
Yep.
Yankees will be the Blue Jays' first victims. Arash Madani will be joining us in the next block to talk about that. Primarily, Blue Jays talk with Arash. Point 5. How about this one? Kyle Borsa of the U of R Rams. If I read this correctly, because you and I are both guilty of the fact that we're headline readers, right? I didn't read the whole story, but the Regina Rams had their pro day, and Kyle Borsa ran a 4.38 lasered 40-yard dash. And, of course, there's that football bias of, well, it's just Canadian University, and he's Canadian, which is wrong. 4.38 is 4.38. If I have the time right.
That's right.
I had a scout in Mississippi write me. You know who he is. Football scout. And he's like, man, do you think an NFL team will give this guy a look? 4.38 is 4.38. I don't care where you're from. But as a lot of guys have said, whether it's a 40 time or a bench press or a vertical, they're not bench pressing at the 50-yard line. And that's not to say Kyle Borsa isn't a tremendous football player, because he is. But do you think underwear Olympics, a tremendous showing in underwear Olympics, would earn a guy like Kyle Borsa a tryout in the National Football League? He's going to get one in the CFL for sure. Drafted.
Earn him a look.
Yeah.
Won't get him drafted, I doubt. Maybe late round flyer, but probably won't get him drafted. But it might get him a camp invite. That's a number that might get you a camp invite to a mini camp or possibly to training camp. I think that's tremendously exciting. But you're right. They've shown, in terms of the wide receiver class, they showed the top 40 times in the last 5 years. And it's rare that translates to on the field. I mean, I know the explosiveness and, separation speed and all of that, but the top receivers in the NFL didn't have all-time top 40s and didn't have all-time combines.
It's the truth.
Right? You have to be able to play on the field.
And that, again, we'll see what happens. Tavon Campbell of the Chargers played for the exact same football team, and he's been in the NFL now for, 3 years? Had a pick 6 this year?
Also tested off the charts. He's fast.
Right. So, yeah, that's not to say there isn't, but he's going to need the right possibility, right opportunity, the right chance, and maybe be asked to switch positions, which I'm sure he'd be willing to do. And the last point is something we will face off on later today, okay? And that is, should 7 teams in the Dub Hub, all 7, get into the playoffs, if there are playoffs? We're starting to hear more and more that there will be playoffs. Why not? Should all 7 go in? What's your quick answer?
No.
You're going to have to change that to yes, because I say no.
Okay, I'll change it to yes.
Anyways, the face-off coming up a little later on. But Arash Madani is next. This has been the warm-up. Hang on. For the Four Seasons Sports Palace, he has asked me to change up the tagline. Here it is. Order a fabulous Four Seasons pizza and your favorite beverage for takeout and delivery. One-stop shopping. Call or order online. Four Seasons Sports Palace, because the restaurants are closed, y'all. Hopefully not for long. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150 Explorer or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
If you could spend less time in the field, more time with your family, and make more money at the same time, would you do it? Verge's farm operations planning technology eliminates unnecessary turns, improves in-field communication, application accuracy, and reduces deadheading. Finish fields faster, burn less fuel, and use fewer inputs, all in one simple-to-use, web-based solution. Do more of what you want, when you want, with the people you love by subscribing to Launchpad by Verge today.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back to the program, everybody. This show moves. Hot, hot, hot. We got Dan Saravelli watching in Philadelphia. Dan, the situation Saravelli, wanting us to talk about the Philly Flyers coming back to post that OT win over the Buffalo Sabres. Danny, we included it in the Quick Six show topics on our NHL leftovers. We're moving on. And Jim Vancha writes that he says, great call last night, boys. Those Pats look good. They sure did. Season-high 9 goals scored last night in a 9-4 win over the Swift Current Broncos. Will be back on the air tonight, 8 p.m. Mountain, Regina Pats, Moose Jaw Warriors. Let's bring in Sportsnet's Arash Madani right now. And you know what? They saw, Arash, that you were coming on, so I've got a flood of Blue Jays questions already for you from our viewers. So the people are jacked. But before we do, have you got some CFL takes on CFL, XFL this season? I haven't heard much from you on that.
Where to begin, Roddy? Where would you possibly like to start on that? Because I am all ears on where you'd like to go with it.
Other than I said earlier, I'm waiting any day for an announcement on a delay to the start of training camps, and Darren thinks it's because they don't have a date to delay it to yet, and I said I think it'll be delayed indefinitely. That's what I'm waiting for. You?
Delayed indefinitely is absolutely the situation. Look, the training camps are supposed to start the middle of May. Depending on the team and when their report date may be, it could be as early as May 15th, May 18th. On Thursday, it's April 1st. We're basically talking 6.5 weeks, Rod, right? If we're just going to do the math here. So I've been speaking with people around the league. Do they have their quarantine plan yet? No. Did BC just go into lockdown? Yes. What's happening in Ontario? Nobody really knows. Does Edmonton have an equipment manager? Does Montreal have an equipment manager? What flights are booked? What accommodations are confirmed? Where are you going to have training camp? How long is it going to be? None of these questions are answered. So you're running out of time. So, of course, a week or two ago, the CFL is going to go through its Russian state television channels to say we want a 20% pay cut for our players, because they'll put the blame on the players when in reality they're running out of time. I saw my friends over at Bodog had a great prop today of, will there be an 18-game season? Will the season go 1 to 17 games or none at all? It makes all the sense in the world right now at minus 105, which is very good juice, that the CFL season plays between 1 and 17 regular season games. There is no way, as we sit here today, Roddy, that they can even get to the starting line to get the season started on time unless they're going to do something ridiculous and irresponsible with the length of training camp. Something like, they may pull a stunt like, okay, we'll do a 10-day training camp and no preseason games and go. But I thought player safety was paramount. So I just don't see how this gets off the ground in any way on time.
Me too. It makes me wonder why they would propose a 20% pay cut to play without fans at the start of the year when you're probably not going to kick off on time anyways. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I'd rather talk more positive stuff and move on to Blue Jays unless you have any more points on this.
I guess my point is this, Rod, on the whole XFL thing. You are willing to throw the baby out with the bathwater to team up with a brand that has twice folded with no guarantee that it's going to last more than a year. A lot of the same people who are almost ridiculing spring football for not having a chance to exist, who ridiculed around a year ago at this time that the XFL folded, are now saying this is the only thing we have left. And, you know, it's a league who came out in August and said, we're going to find new, different business ventures to go down. They came up with a Grey Cup, what was it? A Grey Cup
Unite.
Fan base?
Oh, the fan base,
the
yes.
Grey Cup fan base. That was supposed to generate some revenue. I'm told, give or take, they were able to bring in about $1.5 million in revenue. So nothing when it's $300 a pop. And then it's this. What else have we heard, Roddy, from the league in terms of what new business model plans may look like? I haven't heard any of you.
No, it's the hope and the prayer that the majority of people are vaccinated and we play before crowds, right? That's where it's at.
I mean, I just mean in terms of the XFL thing. It's the CFL for a number of years now has just looked for effectively a vaccine a vaccine to save it. Remember, first, as soon as the Argos were going to move out of Rogers Center, that was going to be it. They're going to move to BMO Field. And then they're going to have tailgating, and it was going to sweep the city, and everything was going to be fine. And then CFL 2.0 and this ridiculous global program, that was going to save everything. And now it's the XFL and Dwayne Johnson, because he once slept on a mattress and he's grateful for Wally Buono. That's now going to save it. There's no magic touch here. You have to roll up your sleeves, sell tickets 2 by 2, and do the work. This is not Folgers. This is not instant coffee. This is not add water, add partnership with another league, and all our problems are solved, especially a league that's folded twice in the 2000s.
Yeah, well, when John Frenzy sits in here and says they're not doing enough, that's what he is referring to, exactly what Arash is saying. Just from some of the viewers, Jeff in Calgary, Jeff Stamp says, love it, Arash. You are speaking the truth. From Kent Ridley in Nashville, good to see Arash on the show. From Armando Moreno, he's in Mexico City, says, tell Mr. Madani to please stop putting all the blame on global players. Wayne in Victoria, BC, wow, sharp-dressed Arash. Nice suit. I don't ever get tired of telling you how great you look, by the way, man. It's super. Love it.
I appreciate it. Now, I'm not blaming global players for anything, Rod. I'm blaming a program that is flawed. Yeah. I'm blaming a program that is asking for global players to make a 3-year commitment that they can't get out of with a max salary of $54,000 mandated by the league. And if you're a global player that's not a kicker or a punter, you have to unseat an American player to get on the field. It's not the player that I'm criticizing at all. I feel bad for the guys who are being put in an impossible situation. It's the structure of this program that just doesn't work.
Okay, so Josh Elliott writes this on Twitter, and he says, I got a question for Arash. With Pearson beginning the season injured and Yates out for the year, if there wasn't a panic about our pitching already, there most definitely is now. Why isn't Ross Atkins going out and trading for a pitcher? Are they waiting for June/July?
Yeah, it's a great question. And my belief, the answer to this is there aren't a lot of teams right now at the end of camp, at the beginning of the season, who are going to trade any arms right now. Everybody's going into the season with the group that they have. If you were going to make some moves, you're going to do so in the offseason, early in camp. But at this stage of things, your roster effectively is what it is for the first 6 or so weeks of the season. Now, the Blue Jays are going to patchwork their way through the season. Trent Thornton's going to get some innings. Ryan Barucki's going to get some innings. They're hopeful that Julian Mayweather can give them a little bit of length. They have 3 left. They're comfortable going with 3 lefties in their bullpen to do so. I understand the Pearson thing. I don't think Pearson was ever going to throw 160 innings this year. If he can get to around 100 or so, like my over-under on him making the big league roster is going to be around Victoria Day, because he still isn't throwing off the mound because of the groin issue. But they have Ryu as their ace. That much we do know. They're hoping that Tanner Roark can just give them some innings. They're hoping Steven Matz can put 2020 behind him and go back to the kind of production that he had in years prior. To answer the question, if the Jays are in any kind of conversation after the draft in mid-June, then I think they're going to go address it, because by then there are going to be some teams that are out of the conversation in terms of October, and that's when they address it. At this point, at this stage of things, this is effectively what they're going to have, and there's going to be a lot of shuffling back and forth, AAA and the taxi squad over at the alternate site, just to bring arms back and forth that they can throw out there at the big league level.
Overall, what was your assessment of the Blue Jays spring training performance? Because it's over now, and as you know, they opened the season Thursday in New York. They had some big comebacks. They put a lot of runs on the board. They continue to be exciting. Just the body of work of the preseason, what was your takeaway of this year's Blue Jays team?
Well, I think a lot of people get caught up in spring training results, and I put, honestly, Roddy, other than some pitching, zero stock into it. I'm looking at the bigger questions. Vlad Guerrero was down 45 pounds. He's hitting the ball well, yes, but he's moving around better defensively. That is actually, if you're a Blue Jays fan, that is a real sign in the good direction that the light is turned on for Vlad, and he's taking that next step in his big league career. I'm encouraged by Cavan Biggio wanting to be the everyday third baseman if I'm a Blue Jay fan. Getting to the park early, taking a lot of ground balls there. He said, I accomplished what I wanted to get done this spring to make that transition. It's still going to be a lot of... Cavan told me last year, third base is where I feel most comfortable with, but there's still a long way to go for him to be an everyday third baseman. If you're a Blue Jay fan, you'd have to be encouraged by... again, I'm mainly talking defensively here. Marcus Semien and Bo Bichette. They were in every single defensive group together in their practice drills. They're gaining some chemistry at shortstop and second base up the middle together. They're trying to make that happen on the fly. But the biggest thing to me, Rod, I look at the questions. Vlad, can he take that next step this season? Biggio, can he be a third baseman? Ryu, can he throw 180-plus innings? Can George Springer stay healthy? Oblique issues linger. He's still not cleared as of 12:30 Eastern time, 49 hours away from opening day, of being on the opening day roster. I don't think he's going to make it for New York on Thursday, but can Springer be healthy? There are a lot of big questions here. Teoscar Hernandez coming off the Silver Slugger Award. Can he continue to do what he did last year? Based on what we saw in spring, there are some promising signs, but man, there is a long way to go still.
Sure, but as your good friend Tim Leeper, the longtime Jays first base coach, said, it's exciting. It's time. These kids, it's time. And that's very exciting. And he said, by the way, the last time you went out to visit him, he's still finding empty wine bottles around his cottage. What did you do to that guy in Muskoka?
What did I do to Leap, or what did Leaper do to me? I think that's the better question. Right? I mean, I'll leave it at that. But he is one of the best dudes that you will meet. Not in sports, not in baseball, period. Just one of the best dudes you'll meet, Leaper. And he is becoming a really solid baseball analyst. I hear him on radio. I text him. I said, damn you, Leaper. Every time I listen to you, I learn something. And I think that's the mark of a really good sports analyst.
No doubt. Clark wants to know, before you run, what is your role on Blue Jays broadcast this year?
So it's similar to last season, a little different. Dan Schulman will be doing all the road games from studio. Buck Martinez and Pat Tabler will do all the home games, well, the first 2 months of the home games from Dunedin. And then Dan's partner will be Buck or Tabby from their respective homes. Doing it remotely. I watched a lot of ESPN NBA basketball. That's what a lot of them are doing. A lot of the college football is the same. Hazel and I will be doing the sideline reporting from studio. We'll have interviews pregame with players, in-game stories, that kind of thing. But we will be, at least while they play games in Dunedin, from studio. Roddy, if you can tell me what the border situation is going to be by June or July, I can let you know. But the Blue Jays are hopeful that they're going to play home games here this season at some point. Not sure if that's going to happen or not. Again, it's March. But as of now, that's where we are. But what's the expression these days? Everything is fluid. Everything is fluid.
One day at a time. Who would have thought 2 straight years of the Jays not playing in Toronto or opening the season? Unbelievable. Arash, this has been fantastic, man. You look busy, so we'll let you get back to your thing, but thanks for the time today. Loved it.
You got it. Appreciate it, Roddy. One last thing for your audience. If you're into investment opportunities, I'm prone to put down a shekel or two. My friends at Bodog have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at 27 home runs for the season. I like the over. I like Cavan Biggio, over 89.5 runs. Cavan's going to be playing a lot of baseball this season if he stays healthy. They want him to be the everyday third baseman. Those are a couple little nuggets I'd pass along your way.
Outstanding. All right. Just don't bet on the Sabres to win like we did yesterday. Thank you, sir.
Okay. See you, boys.
Sportsnet's Arash Madani. You can catch him on Tim and Friends as well for the time being. Sports update coming up. Viewer takeover. Curling report. You're watching the RP show on Game Plus TV, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports talk. Now streaming at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Moose is back here, too. We're going to dip into the viewer takeover just a little early with a few comments here. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, RP, are you guys doing a show Friday with it being a long weekend? And the answer is no. Good Friday off, but we will be on the air Monday from Sober Athletic Wear. Viewer writes in, Blue Jays are going to compete if the pitching staff pulls its weight. You can't win 9-8 every day. That's my only concern with this team.
They're going to try.
No, but it's exciting. To the sports update, Carson Denemy scored his first of the night in the game's first minute as the Regina Pats routed the Swift Current Broncos 9-4 in WHL play Monday in the Dub Hub. Denemy added another goal in the victory, while Zach Smith contributed 2 goals and an assist. And Connor Bedard, the Wonder Boy, scored a goal and added 3 helpers. It was a busy night in net for Reed Dick, who stopped 31 of 40 shots for Swifty. Roddy Ross had a 25-save night for Regina. Can I say something to the stats guys that are watching right now?
Yep.
That's not you, that's them. Can you stop fiddling with the shots all the time? It's one thing at the end of the period, then it's the shots are another thing when they go to drop the puck to start, and then an hour after the game, they change again. It's very hard when you're trying to write game summaries and calculate stats. That's all.
Yeah.
Connor Bowie's hat trick helped the Prince George Cougars secure their first win of the season, topping the Victoria Royals last night. Colton Dock scored twice, and Nolan Mayer stopped 24 shots. Nolan Meyer to register his first shutout of the season as the Blades blanked the Prince Albert Raiders 4-0 in the double. The Montreal Canadiens are finally back in action tonight, hosting the Edmonton Oilers. The Habs saw 4 games postponed after 2 forwards were added to the NHL's COVID-19 protocol list. Montreal last played March 20th when they beat the Vancouver Canucks 5-4 in a shootout. Gonzaga will look to keep its unbeaten season alive as it takes on number 6 USC in Elite 8 play at the NCAA March Madness tournament today. Guard Andrew Nembhard of Aurora, Ontario, has been key to the Bulldogs' success, putting up 17 points and 8 assists in Gonzaga's win over Creighton on Sunday. The sports update for the Tap Brew House and Drive-Through Liquor Store. They are open now at the corner of Pasqua and Rochdale. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. So we've come through a lot of stuff to get to where we are today.
Yeah.
Right now. What's on your mind? Anything?
No, all of a sudden, you asked when I'd be into it. I'm all of a sudden getting excited for opening day for the Jays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I'm into it now. I got the baseball game on my phone.
What flipped the switch?
Just, it being the week and it actually happening on Thursday and all, and the first pitch is going to be right in the middle of our show, right?
Yeah.
At 1 Eastern, just after 1 Eastern. So we'll be able to watch most of that game in the early afternoon. For whatever reason, I got really excited.
There is some breaking news today, and this is interesting. A couple of viewers have written in to inform us that the Philadelphia Flyers have placed Shane Gostisbehere on waivers. Are they making cap room for a big deal? I don't know why they would do such a thing. Maybe. Did the Philly Flyers not finish first in the division last year in the conference?
Yeah.
And now they're struggling to make the playoffs?
And they won that round robin. They were the number 1 seed in the bubble.
They were for sure number 1 in the bubble, but I think they finished. Boston was first in their division, right? Because they felt that they were screwed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now they're battling with Philly for the final playoff spot of the Mass Mutual East. By the way, viewer Jennifer Illingworth says, Roddy's first win. I said on the broadcast last night, Roddy Ross, the goalie for the Regina Pats. I said, how bad do you think I want a goalie named Roddy to have success for the Regina Pats? He took a shot last night right where the sun don't shine. Woo. Oh, I wish we had the... He was laying on his back with his legs spread wide open, and the guy came up and just, wham! And the puck disappeared.
Okay.
I'm like, we might have to send him for an MRI to find that puck.
But it didn't just hit him. It went up the pants. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
How about that?
How about that? Have we checked on Roddy Ross today? And by the way, we got all these new viewers. That's evident for all to see. From Philadelphia to Toronto to Los Angeles, we had mail from the other day to Greenfield, Indiana. You need to understand something, and particularly in Winnipeg, because the guy wrote me yesterday and said, Rod, what do you think Patrick Laine will make next year? And you have to understand something about me. There are people like Clark gets hot and bothered about that stuff. I don't. And by the way, the text line is open. I'll give you the number for our listeners that can't see it on the screen in a moment. But thank God, another viewer jumped in on the thread on Twitter, and they went back and forth on qualifying offers and this for Line A and this and that. I'm like, I don't get into that. Last I knew, he signed, a 3-year bridge deal, Patrick Laine. I'm far more interested in what's going on the ice than the contract stuff. It's not that I'm too dumb to follow it. You just lose me. Because to me, that's not part of hockey. That's what's become the business part of the game. But I can't tell you why they will put Gostisbehere on waivers if it's to make room. Like, I get why you have to do these things. But I don't get horny about that stuff.
I know.
Do you? You're kind of in between me and Clark.
I'm in between. I get it with different seasons. You want to know And it's reasons for optimism, right? You start playing around. Oh, how can they improve? Well, they need to move guys around, and it gives you more engagement with your fan base, right? So I'm kind of in between. I'm not all the way that side, but I'm not all the way removed. I kind of go in and out of looking up at that stuff. And
I'm just saying, if you want to debate that stuff, don't tweet at me because that's not my thing.
That's a dead end.
Poll question. Oh, I didn't tweet it yet. I guess I should get around to doing that. The poll question today is, who would win a playoff series between the Edmonton Oilers and the Toronto Maple Leafs? And my God, this question's causing fights in the streets.
I know.
What are they saying?
50-50. Unbelievable.
That's what I'm saying.
Stop the poll.
I know. There's blood in the streets, and it's March 30th. What's going to happen, Darren, when they actually play? And if you've just tuned in, the reason people are upset is, what about the Jets? We're not talking about the Jets. We're talking about the Oilers and the Leafs.
Yeah. Those are two of the most passionate fan bases in the country right now.
Oh, we got to go to break. They're telling me. They're saying zip it. So we'll get to that more in your comments. Hang on, Florida. We're coming back to you. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports talk. For Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Welcome back, everybody, as we start viewer takeover a little early. Here it is, my notification from the Score. Gostisbehere placed on waivers. Flyers defenseman currently in the 4th season of a 6-year, $27 million deal. Well, obviously, it's about money. How about that?
Yeah.
But the question earlier, just before the break, was, do the Flames blow it up here in advance of the trade deadline, which is, what did you say, Clark, April 16th? Or the 12th? Either way, it's a few weeks away. Honestly, man, the Flames aren't that far out of it. This morning I was watching Sports Center. They flashed the graphic, and Montreal's got the last playoff spot, and I think the Flames and the Canucks are like 2 points back. I think it's 37 for Montreal and 35 for the Flames. Like they're right there. Now there is that school of thought that if you're not contending, then you're building. And they're not contending. But is now the time that you blow it up and you get rid of Johnny Hockey, who clearly Daryl Sutter doesn't seem to be a huge fan of. I mean, you're keeping Matthew Tkachuk. Whether you like him or you don't, he seems like a franchise guy. I didn't like his dive last night, but he wouldn't be the first. Johnny Gaudreau, this ain't working. It's time.
Yeah, now you decide which horse you're hitching your wagon to, right? Is it Daryl Sutter or is it Johnny Gaudreau?
Wow,
and
that's an easy one.
Brad Treliving's got the decision to make. Well, but Johnny Gaudreau is a star in this league, right? And we've seen it. He's had success, and he will continue to have success. Might be in a different place than Calgary, but that's where you have to decide. And with this whole group, they've had opportunities. They've had multiple coaches, and if Daryl Sutter, can't get over the hump with this group and get them to contend, then maybe it's time to blow it up and start rebuilding around guys like Dustin Wolf, who are the next group, and Dubé and some of these younger Flames prospects.
From 2 viewers, Dion Langevin in Cranbrook and the Puck and Pigskin podcast in Red Deer, both pointing out Montreal has 3 games in hand. Games in hand mean nothing unless you win them. Standings are what matters. And the Flames are going to miss the playoffs. I'm sorry to they're going to miss the playoffs. Montreal's a better team. Unless you completely don't agree with me.
I think it's close, but they're not a slam dunk.
And by the way, Montreal's ahead and have games in hand. That means even more so that Calgary's going to be done.
Yeah. Because I don't see Winnipeg, Toronto, or Edmonton falling out.
They're not going to.
I don't see any of those teams going on a serious face plant and missing the playoffs. So it's either got to be Winnipeg, Montreal, or
Calgary. A month ago we said the top 3 were Toronto, Edmonton, and Winnipeg. Yeah. A month ago, and the middle tier will be fighting it out for the 4th spot.
Yeah,
that's Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary. Montreal is in the lead of that with the games in hand. So maybe I misread you people. Maybe you're disagreeing with me. But Montreal's ahead with 3 games in hand. That's terrible for the Calgary Flames. I don't have time for the curling report here. We will roll that into next hour. Don Muir, it slipped off the screen. Where's his comment? Regarding the Line A stuff and what's he going to make? Don Muir in Winnipeg. Thank you, Rod. I can't stand all the contract, trade, free agent stuff. I just like to enjoy the games and let the GMs take care of the business side of things. Occasionally, player movement needs to be talked about, but I'm not a big speculation guy. I'm a one-day-at-a-time guy, and it drives everybody around here nuts, including Moose. But you can look down the path, and you can look big picture. That's just not me. What's Line A going to make next year? I don't care. You'll find enough guys that will debate that with you on Twitter. I'm just not one of them. Next hour, our director of officiating, Taylor Shire. We're going to face off on the Dub Hub playoffs. What else we got? Rich Sutter as well. Stick around, everybody, after this break. Coming right back on Game Plus TV.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
If you could spend less time in the field, more time with your family, and make more money at the same time, Would you do it? Verge's farm operations planning technology eliminates unnecessary turns, improves in-field communication, application accuracy, and reduces deadheading. Finish fields faster, burn less fuel, and use fewer inputs, all in one simple-to-use, web-based solution. Do more of what you want, when you want, with the people you love by subscribing to Launchpad by Verge today.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say. And I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
No.
Biz Nasty says the Leafs will win the Cup.
How about that?
Can I just say that he's a Leaf fan? He came on the show and admitted he's a closet Leaf fan. So I think when you are making projections for the team that you are a fan of, you're a little clouded.
Just because the lack of recent playoff success, everybody's kind of nervous to make a prediction and put that weight behind the Leafs.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome, everybody, to the second half kickoff. It's hour 2 of the RP Show coming at you. There's a new face sitting in the bunker. Our good friend Taylor Shire from Global Television, our director of officiating. You don't mind being called that still, do you?
If that's what I've been called worse.
So You've been called worse.
If that's what you want to call me, that's fine.
And blossoming player agent as well. What's the company?
Link Management.
Link Management, which you were saying earlier on, it's a little slow right now because those kids aren't playing hockey, which is unfortunate, but you're building your base. I like it. I just want to read, kind of getting into what we're going down. If you've just joined us here on Game Plus Television, we've had a rollicking chat today. A lot of hockey, obviously. Sportsnet's Arash Madani went deep on the Blue Jays last hour, and it was fantastic. They opened the season Thursday at the New York Yankees. Arash and I are both thinking that pretty soon we're going to hear from the CFL that the start of training camps delayed indefinitely. That's what we're guessing. We don't know for sure, but what else is going to happen? Players are starting to say we need 6 to 8 weeks notice if there's going to be a training camp, and We don't have a quarantine plan. There's no plan. We're not hearing anything. What's next? The logical thing would be announcing a delay. From our viewers, Brady writes in from Saskatoon, Prairie Mobile text line, and you can reach us at 840-8777. Prairie Mobile is your authorized SaskTel mobility dealer. He says, hey, Rod, Habs return tonight with Microfleek in the lineup. The Blades are just too good. Nolan Meyer now holds the franchise record in wins by a goalie. Nolan Meyer, can somebody give this guy a tryout? Not drafted, not invited to the World Juniors, and he's only the franchise leader with a team that's had Tim Cheveldae, Braden Holtby, Mark Reimer, nobody will remember, but he was tremendous. What did Nolan Meyer do to anybody, Taylor?
I don't know. He's a good goalie.
He's fantastic.
He'll get a tryout, though. I think he's turning some heads, and he will get a tryout somewhere.
He goes on to say, just to finish up, Brady says, are we sure Connor Bedard is human? And the Flames still suck. That's from Brady in Saskatoon. Connor Bedard, man. Like last night, a goal and 3 assists for the Wonder Boy. He's got 17 points in 9 games as a 15-year-old. And if you go and look at our Instagram story at Rod Pedersen Official, all the highlights are butted up together. He looks like Wayne Gretzky. Just zing, 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 zing. Like when you watch the whole 60-minute game, it averages out a little bit. But just the highlights, maybe that's where we'll start, Taylor, because we'll get into all these topics with you, is Bedard. Wow.
He's been phenomenal, and I've sort of turned into a bit of a fan just watching him play, like tuning into the broadcast or going to the rink, and just it's hard to take your eyes off of him because he's racking up the points, but it seems every point is almost a highlight reel move where he'll go through a guy and he's the primary assist off his own rebound or whatnot. It seems like he's splitting defensemen each shift, getting his own rebound and giving it to somebody else if it doesn't score the first time. So he's just been phenomenal to watch, and we knew there was going to be a bit of a learning curve, and I think he took 1 or 2 games where he still racked up points, but now I think he's getting a bit more swagger, getting a bit more confidence with his line mates especially. Denemy has been great along his wing, and then they're kind of cycling through that other winger. Zach Smith last night had a great game alongside. So, I mean, as advertised.
For our viewers in Eastern Canada, the Maritimes, Quebec, and Ontario, we're talking about who's been labeled the next Connor McDavid, the next John Tavares. Connor Bedard of the Regina Pats is 15 years old, the first ever exceptional player in league history, and he's just lighting it up at 15 last night, a goal and 3 assists, and he's on a 9-game point streak. Nobody in the league has a streak that long. Breaking news, I'm going to go by our viewers here, but they're saying that the Kelowna Rockets have suspended activities immediately because of a positive COVID-19 test. And where is it? Is it Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, Nelson Hakowicz, writing in saying it was a staff member, not players, but that's news from the Western Hockey League, the Kelowna Rockets suspending all team activities. And also to the Eastern people, and I apologize to the OHL fans because they're not playing, and it's awful. But what's happening in the queue with playoffs? My question to you, Taylor, is do you think, I keep hearing there's going to be playoffs here in the Dub, in this division, in the Dub Hub. Should all 7 teams make the playoffs? I say no.
No, I'm going to agree with you, and I would love to disagree with you, but no, they're going to award the Subway Cup to the top the first place finisher in the standings, and I think that's all it's for. This really, as much as every team wants to win, this 24-game season is for the scouts. It's for the player development. It's sort of like an extended preseason spring camp where there's no championship at the end of it. It's just about exposure. And basically, you see how many scouts are in the rink? That's kind of why they're doing it.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
30,
exactly.
40, it seems like up to 50 maybe a game, but they're so spread out, it's hard to tell how many scouts there are. But can somebody, again, please tell me what's happening in the queue? Because they're playing, and they've had their ups and downs too. I mean, what just happened in Kelowna today has happened in the queue, but they've been struggling to get through it. It's, it's hard, isn't it, Taylor? The things that we've learned in the pandemic, that you think it's all about the competition at the major junior level or junior A, but it's really not. It's about getting evaluation in for the upcoming NHL draft.
Exactly, and the NHL has a lot of stake in these junior leagues to, I don't know how much they fund them, but that basically the NHL relies on the CHL as a feeder league into their league. So it's huge, and in terms of the Kelowna Rockets, the East Division hub anyway, I think it goes across the Western League, where if a team has a positive test, it's a 14-day stoppage, basically. No
for
games.
Everybody or just that team?
For that team, a 14-day stoppage, assuming that it hasn't leaked into other teams. So immediate 14-day stoppage. I imagine it's the same in Kelowna.
They are not fooling around.
So yeah, if that happens in the Regina hub, same thing, 14-day stoppage. In a 48-game season or 48-day season, 24-game, that's a lot of games to eat up. And I don't know how far, if they will extend it to make up those games. So let's
probably
hope it doesn't happen
not
here, but I don't imagine they'll make up those games.
Probably not.
They'll just have to miss them.
Viewer Dawson Brolin says, speaking of British Columbia, what's the deal with this Junior A exodus? Any more details today? I love the idea of it. Here's the details that I never concluded late last week when I broke the story that the BC Hockey League is breaking away from the Canadian Junior Hockey League, the umbrella that oversees Junior A, and that they're taking 4 Alberta teams with them. I had a note from a hockey guy in Lloydminster that said, Rod, the word here in the league and the AJ is that you're a year ahead of your time here. This is going to happen, but not for a year. So you understand, I would guess, that these teams have to notify their league a year in advance that they're leaving. Shoot, in the Western League, you need to notify the league if you plan to change your jersey a year in advance. So if you plan on leaving, Taylor, it would be a year. So now you can wait all spring and summer for those 4 teams that I've been told, Brooks, Okotoks, Spruce Grove, and Grand Prairie. Now, some of them are denying it, of course, but in some cases we're talking about community boards too. Not everybody may have all the facts, but just because the AJHL is denying 4 of the teams are going to leave doesn't mean it's not going to happen. They might not have put their notice in yet. But BC's gone. They're gone. And when asked for a comment on my story, the commissioner said, no comment at this time, which is a comment. I'll get to these viewer comments in a moment. We got a guest here. Before we switch to CFL, XFL, Taylor, you are our director of officiating, and I don't mean to put you on the hot spot, but you can handle it. I know you well enough. Where are you in the Tim Peel thing? You are an ordained official from the SHA. Are you going to tell me makeup calls don't happen?
They happen anywhere from minor hockey to beer league through the pro ranks on any given night. And that conversation that Tim Peel had happens basically every game in every rank across the world. Because I sort of relate it to everyday life. If you shortchange somebody at the till, if you're a cow, whatever,
you'll make it up.
You'll make it up to them the next time. If you give them a bad meal, you'll make it up to them the next time. It's sort of the same thing. It's just game management. They're human. So if you make a crappy call or 6 calls in a row, you're probably going to make it up to the other team a little bit. You're not going to be any egregious calls don't matter. Those aren't the makeup calls. It's the little stick. Was it a penalty? 50-50. I'll make it up to you next period. Or there's 100 different options that I could give, examples that I could give. But just because there was a live mic and it picked it up, it's the same as a cell phone video catching somebody. Yeah. Just because there was no cell phone video doesn't mean it didn't happen. And now there's a cell phone video and a live mic. Oh, these things are happening and we're seeing them. So it's holding people more accountable. Yes, it's making people watch what they say and watch what they do, which I think in turn will be beneficial for everybody because accountability is important.
Yes, but it feels like nobody really knows what they're doing. Like the next night when the ref was talking to Wayne Simmons and covered his mic in his collar, I'm like, you understand that the next ref's mic is on.
Yeah.
And it was the mic on the glass that caught him, not the one on his here. But so for the NHL, they denied that it happens. That's the thing. For Colin Campbell to preserve the integrity of the game and just lie to everybody, is society that dumb that they didn't realize this goes on?
But it doesn't get taught. It doesn't necessarily get taught where you have to have makeup calls. That's not in the rule book. That's not in the courses. That's just human nature where, right? So from Colin Campbell's point of view, makeup calls don't happen because they don't teach them. They don't instruct their officials to do makeup calls. So from his point of view, I think it was basically a PR saying we don't do this and we're going to reprimand our official because of this. Behind closed doors, the conversation with Tim Peel was probably a little bit different. Timmy, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place here. We're going to have to let you ride off into the sunset a little bit earlier just for optics, right? And
then his legacy is in a way ruined. Like I said, they're out doing these sports banquets, and I've done dinners with Mick Magoo, obviously, and Don Kaharski, and now it'll be Tim Peel going to this sports dinner in Tabor, Alberta, and everybody will go, boy, you really got screwed, Timmy.
Exactly.
And that's the crappy thing. Dominic Froome writes in and says, firing Peel makes me wonder what the NHL's really trying to hide. Isn't that something? Jamie Anstey, regarding the Q and the playoffs, Jamie's watching in Halifax. He says Maritime's division teams will complete their regular season schedule on Saturday, May 1st, and begin the playoffs on Tuesday, May 4th. So there are playoffs in the queue. Thank you for answering that. Now, in the time we have left, which is considerable in this segment before we bring in Rich Sutter for more hockey talk, CFL, XFL. You cover the CFL and the Rough Riders for Global Television. I'm dying to know your thoughts on this.
Well, there's a bunch to talk about, because are we talking about this season and what it looks like? Because
everything, you got time.
Well, okay, let's start this year. Training camp's supposed to start in 6 weeks. So if I'm a football player, I want to be in tip-top shape for day one of training camp. You're going to tell me in less than 6 weeks, like, am I going full bore right now and with my workouts? I imagine every player across the league right now is wondering the same thing. What does my training look like right now? Because is this an extended off season where I have to slow down right now and don't burn myself out because the season's starting in August? Or am I starting in May, and do I got to ramp it up for the next 6 weeks and get in shape? So, like, because you don't want to burn yourself out. You're not going to do your same workout 12 months out of the year, right? So there has to be an answer soon. And unless we've not heard something that has been coordinated with the players, I'm surprised there's not more uproar from the players division, in my opinion. And in terms of the XFL, I initially thought the partnership between the CFL and the XFL, when it was announced, was a PR stunt. Hey, let's get talking about both leagues during a downtime. And then when I sort of dug into it a little bit more, it seems like there's something here. And Randy Ambrosie and the league are sort of going to hitch their wagon to the XFL and to Dwayne Johnson specifically. Randy always talks a lot about generating more, a younger fan base and getting those younger people, because the older people, they're still going to buy the tickets and they're still going to show up, but it's those younger people who aren't showing up. And where are those younger people? Where's the reach? Well, he always says social media and on Instagram and whatnot. And you look at The Rock, 220 some million followers on Instagram alone. So Randy thinks that hitching his league to that Instagram account is going to generate tickets and seats. So whether or not that's true, that's kind of what he believes right now, I believe.
It all feels that way.
Yeah.
For sure. And we await some sort of announcement on this season. The news continues, Taylor, to all be bad. Like Wade Miller yesterday, the president of the Blue Bombers, who I've said a million times I admire a ton, and I do. And you saw what he said about the $7 million loss of the Blue Bombers. He says, this is why we're partnering with a company that understands sports and entertainment. Mm-hmm. He's talking about the XFL. Wade's just going to say it the way that it is. The question is, how are they going to do that? Because you know what? If the Rock just stroked a check right now for $50 million, here you go, guys, the CFL could play. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, the CFL doesn't want to do that, and I think it's because they don't want to give up control to the Rock. Because if he forks over the dough, he's their daddy.
And then they owe them something, right? So you never want to owe somebody something.
Not if you can help it.
Yeah, not if you can help it. But I think they're going to be backed into a corner here soon if they can't get off the ground. And I mean, you don't ever there's obviously something flawed. If you need outside money to play, there's obviously something flawed. I get the gate revenue and whatnot, but you can do more. You can try to find more somewhere else. But if you need a handout from somebody, there's a long-term business problem, and I think the CFL is aware of that. I think they're working on some things in terms of the marketing and whatnot, but they're obviously not doing enough, and I don't foresee the season starting in 6 weeks or training camp starting in 6 weeks at all.
Me either.
With the Rock's money or not at this point.
It's the second half kickoff. When we come back, Columbus Blue Jackets pro scout, 13-year NHL veteran Rich Sutter. Stick around. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Thanks for joining us today, everybody, for Caliber Coffee. Our director of officiating, Taylor Shire, stays with us. Rich Sutter joining us from Lethbridge. He's just texting me. Here he is. How you doing, Richie?
Fantastic.
We all are. I tell you what. In the rink, have you been into the sport?
I would listen anyway, so.
I know, exactly.
Right?
Have you been, there might be a dumb question, but have you been in the Sportsplex since the Canes got back playing out there in Lethbridge? I assume you have?
I have.
Well, it's funny. I won't say who the scouts were. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but they're in the east side of the arena here. We're on the north side. We intersect in the bathroom. So it's like, hey, how's that go? Everybody's smiling behind their mouths because they're back watching hockey. That's why everybody's so happy. Isn't it nice?
It is. Are they playing all the games in the Agrodome? Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
It's different. It's different than the Central.
It's a rinks down there to practice, so that's a perfect spot.
Yeah, well, it's a 5-minute road trip every game for me. I couldn't be happier, Rich.
We walk into the Impact Center here, Rod, and you can only go to one section, and the bathroom's right there, and you can't go anywhere else. You're in that door into the building, and you're right out.
Oh, I know. And I was talking to Taylor Shire here from Global. You saw the interview. You're watching it early. Same thing. You said you went 3 games?
Yep.
But you're like, I might as well just go home because you can't visit, you can't move around, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's fine. We're just happy to be in the bubble. And actually, that's where I'll start, Rich. 24 games for each division. Are you getting enough as a scout out of that to prepare for the draft at the end of June for the National Hockey League?
Well, yes and no. I think if the homework has been done a year out in terms of knowing who this group is coming forward and who, what you're looking at, then you should have a pretty good understanding. But again, you still want to see growth. You still want to see development within structure, how these guys play as individuals and how they play as a group. That's what does make it a little bit difficult for the amateur guys that are scouting these games. For me, the games that I am getting to, I'm more interested in the older player and see how they are doing, and more of the reserve lists of other teams' drafted players. So, yeah, it's a tough sell. It's a tough job for these guys that are trying to cover as much as they can in as little time as possible at the shortened schedule and the shortened timelines.
By the way, there's a war erupting in our comments section here from viewers about Connor Bedard. So he's 1.89 points a game, Rich. And somebody brought up McDavid. He's around 2 points per game in the show. Well, the Pats and the CHL put out a stat the other day that he's ahead. Connor Bedard's ahead at 15 of where McDavid and Tavares were at 15. And the older guys, like yourself and myself, the people are saying they're comparing him to Marcel Dion. Okay, you got to go back a ways. You played against Marcel in the Purple Haze. What's the word out there on Bedard and what the guys are seeing on tape or on TV?
Well, I get Reed Jackson is watching games. Columbus, we have some of our guys there too. Son Lucas is also watching games on video at this point, live right now, but we'll be in the building right away as well. So the bottom line is what I'm hearing from these young guys is something pretty special about what kind of player this guy is. And what little video I have seen some, of course, Reed sending me stuff. So it's pretty, look, these kids nowadays are so much faster. They're so much more skilled. They're so much more developed at earlier ages just because what's available for them to train with and just the means and the wherewithal, like how to train properly and what they're putting in their systems to become better athletes and then better players. So I think Connor Bedard is miles ahead of people that you can compare about, the timelines of Marcel Dion's era, and I think even 10, 12 years ago, to tell you the truth. Strusher and John knew what they were getting when they got this player. At least they know they had a real good idea what they're getting, and they're certainly got to be very happy with what they're seeing right now.
Yeah, for sure. Well, with the Marcel Dion, we were trying to find a player that was built like a C battery, that was a right-handed shot and was somewhat shifty. Well, who else besides Marcel Dion? He's like the first guy that comes up. Last one on this. Robin in Prince Albert says, would the point product be the same for Bedard if it was a full season with all the teams and rosters? It doesn't matter what it would be. It would be at least that. And by the way, he's on a team that's in second last place, and he's still getting 2 points per game.
I think Roddy's only going to get better. He's only going to get more acclimated to the league, knowing how to play against these guys at this point that are only at this point bigger and stronger than him. His skill, his wisdom, his IQ, his skating, everything just comes to the forefront at some points over the course of the night, every night.
Okay. Boy, Rich, they want to talk about it. And I'm going to move on here, but just one more from Nelson Hakowicz. He says, based on a team's trajectory, what team does Bedard end up with come his draft year? That's 2.5 seasons away, subject to a lottery. So it's whoever will have the number 1 overall pick in the summer of 2023. That's what it'll be. Yeah, so you can't say what team will get him. Anyways, they all want you, if you can, to talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Line A situation. It's tough slugging down there. Yeah, I know. What do you want to say about that? Anything?
Well, look, Patrick Laine is a hell of a hockey player, and he's going through some tough times right now. He's playing on a team that, where he's got to work a little bit differently. He's got to work a little bit harder to, he hasn't got the Mark Scheifele's and the Nick Ehlers and the Blake Wheelers of the world, these guys that are great puck distributors and high-end players to just dish him the puck. We're in a transition with our group, I feel right now that, look, we are going to get him his centerman at some point, and it's going to be sooner than later. That will make his life easier for him. He's learning that he's got to work a little bit harder than maybe he's accustomed to. He's got to play a little bit deeper into his own end a little bit more than he's accustomed to. He's got to change his game and just a little bit to become a better player. And that for his own is going to be for his own good moving forward. It will make him a better player. He wants to be a better two-way player, a player that can play the longer ends of the rink in terms of 200 feet, not 180 feet more often. So, look, Patrick Laine is going to be a real special player for our organization moving forward, and we have no long-term worries about where that's going. We also want to, you look at Jack Rosawick, who's also an important part of this trade. Here's a guy that I always felt was a number 2 center material all the way along, coming out of amateur hockey. Never played a shift in the NHL at center ice till he came to Columbus. So he's learning to play center on the fly in the best league in the world. Yes, he was a centerman growing up, but look, he still never played center in the NHL. He played right wing. And so he's learning to play the nuances, the subtleties of the game at the elite level. And there's some nights where he's good at it. There's some nights where he's not, quite frankly. And it's kind of like we've thrown him into the fire a little bit. And so he's learning on the fly. He will only get better for it. And I think over the course of the summertime, you take time back to reflect, watch video, watch your game. He will become a better player for sure by next fall time for our group. And when he does, so will Patrick Laine, along with what we will help him with. And we will be a better team for it.
Yeah, well, you talk to Jets fans, and they will say habitually Laine was the hardest working player on the team for the Winnipeg Jets. So, like you say, there's a feeling something didn't work, but there's
not sure what that means by that, but
well, they got rid of him for a reason.
Player.
Yeah, well, he was on the score sheet all the time, so maybe he wasn't working 100%, but he was a factor most nights. What's your read, because you're so connected on the Philly scene, on Gostisbehere being placed on waivers today with his big contract?
Well, I was really surprised, Rod, to tell you the truth. He's had a pretty good year. He's at 11 points in 25 games. I know, and people look at the numbers and go, well, that's a good year. But I look beyond numbers. That's my job, is to know what goes on beyond the numbers. And I think that, Shane means well. He's a solid teammate. He protects his teammates. He sticks up for his teammates. And I think it goes back. Look, it's none of my business how the Flyers run their hockey club, but I think somewhere along the line that the comments he made last week about where this team had to be in a better place in terms of players playing certain ways and playing well. And I think the comments he's also made certainly about protecting and supporting Carter Hart. The thing that came out of that in the last 2-3 days was very weird to me, knowing Carter Hart. Carter Hart is a kid that someone who would know very locally in Regina is cut from the same cloth as Sam Steele. I mean, these kids grew up together, high character kids, great families. And it just seems like there's a lot of questioning about Carter Hart's I guess his work habits, his commitment to being a better player, a better goalie. And I think what Shane did was Shane simply stood up for him and called bullshit on it. And it probably ruffled some feathers.
Well, you know what? Carter's young enough that he can figure it out because he's still the future in goal for our country and for the Philadelphia Flyers. Yeah, so, and he's a tremendous goalie. By the way, Winnipeg's woken up. Jeff in Winnipeg, Jeff Cabela says, Laine, scoring yes, back checking, he was finally doing last season. Nobody back checks with the Winnipeg Jets, by the way. Don't just put that on Laine. Jennifer Illingsworth says, the Laine trade reminds me of the Hall trade. Maybe a great player, but maybe not great off the ice. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But look how the teams are doing where they are now. Hey, what'd you think of your brother's comments on Johnny Gaudreau on the weekend? Oh my God, on the 500th game.
Well, it's tough when it's true, right? And you know, look, I got some good friends in the media in Calgary, and it's funny how they go back and forth on players about, you know, how they can be hard on players and then how they tend to protect certain players. But yeah, it was Johnny Gaudreau's 500th game, and good for him. But, you know, I saw his 499th game. It wasn't very good. And when you need to be, you're supposed to be one of the team's most skilled and talented players, you need to be one of your most skilled and talented players every night. And on his game 499, he was horseshit. So, quite frankly, and all the coach was saying was, well, I hope he's better than he was in his last game. And, you know, people can read into what they want, but if that's what it takes to have to motivate a hockey player, makes that kind of money and says how much he loves the Calgary Flames, well, it's pretty sad that you got to motivate people in certain ways.
Yeah, but it's just great that I know how beloved Darryl is, not only in the city, but by the franchise, right? So there's not maybe a lot of coaches that could say that, but Darryl can. You know, I know who's going to win that battle when push comes to shove.
Well, you know, look, Darryl, there's ability and there's certainly talent in that roster to do well. There's just something missing with that group. I mean, but look, they're not the only team that has those issues. I mean, quite frankly, it's hard to win in this league. And if your best players aren't your best players every night, Rod, and playing to that ability, you're not going to win. And it doesn't matter who you play against. And it's a bounce here, it's a bounce there. It's a bad play here, it's a missed check. It's a goal that shouldn't go in that the goalie's supposed to stop or, you know, should be stopping. And it's a fine line in this league, and it's very, very hard to win. And if you are not on top of your game and your best players are not your best players, you're not going to win. It's
absolutely. A fantastic visit. Thank you, Richie. Appreciate it. I'll give you a ring this afternoon. Thanks for the time here today.
You bet. Thanks, Rod.
Our hockey analyst, Rich Sutter, and our visits with Richie brought to you by Original 16 from Great Western. Darren Bradley, Caesar watching, says, love Rich Sutter, black and white. From Nelson Hakowich, our VP of Sim Events. Richie giving the people in Toronto a panic attack on the censor button. As long as it's not me, we're okay. From the Hockey Club podcast watching in Tallahassee, Florida. Sutters are straight shooters. Honesty. The curling report before we break. Action in the bubble in Calgary will be heating up again as the 2021 BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship presented by New Holland gets underway Friday morning at Winsport Arena at Canada Olympic Park. The recently crowned Brier champs, skipped by Brendan Botcher of Edmonton, will face a stiff test right off the bat in Friday's opening draw at 11 a.m. Eastern as they take on Scotland to open the 14-team round-robin draw. Bruce Mowat, the Scotland skip. Botcher with vice skip Darren Moulding, second Brad Thiessen, lead Carrick Martin, alternate Mark Kennedy, team coach Don Bartlett, and national coach Jeff Stoughton will be looking to latch on to the same wave of momentum that carried them to the Tim Hortons Brier title earlier this month after winning silver medals the prior 3 years. There's not only a world championship on the line in Calgary, but also berths into the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing. The top 6 finishing countries will qualify to compete in the Olympics. And there was no shortage of star quality that will be competing in Calgary with those kinds of stakes. Leading the way will be Eden's Swedish team that won the most recently contested World Men's Championship 2 years ago in Lethbridge, Alberta, where they defeated Canada's Kevin Cooey in the gold medal game. Again, draw 1 Friday morning of the World Men's Curling Championship in the Calgary bubble. Our curling report is brought to you by Verge Agriculture, helping farmers plan and optimize their operations across every field. Try Verge's precision farm tech software for free today at vergeag.com. Taylor and I will return after this break. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that, each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
And Taylor Shire's with us from Global TV, our director of officiating. A sports update before we jump back in We'll get into viewer comments early. 2 goals from Mark Scheifele led the Winnipeg Jets to a 5-1 victory over the Calgary Flames last night. The Jets chased Flames goalie Jacob Markstrom, who stopped 20 of 23 shots over 2 periods before stopped 19 of 23 shots over 2 periods before he was replaced by David Riddick in the third. Another tough loss for the Raptors. The Detroit Pistons down Toronto 118-104 on the strength of rookies Sabin Lee and Sadiq Bey, who combined for 38 points. Oregon State's big run at the NCAA March Madness tournament has ended. Houston topped the number 12 seed 67-61 last night. John Herdman, the coach of Canada's senior men's soccer team, says his players made a statement last night. The Canadians crushed the Cayman Islands 11-0 in World Cup qualifying play. The sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis with the best team of writers across Western Canada and the Pacific Northwest. Visit today, dubnetwork.ca. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, get 20% off with the promo code RPShow. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. To the text line, Taylor and I are going to debate these. From the 403, anonymous texter in Alberta says, great show, but I can't believe after a few games you're comparing Bedard to Wayne Gretzky. No pressure for a 15-year-old. Listen, man, I don't care what you think. Are you just getting onto this? I've been talking about this since last spring, a year ago, when the Pats drafted him number 1 overall. And you're just now getting onto the fact that we've been hyping this kid. And by the way, the Regina Pats and the Western Hockey League, I'm waiting for them to say, pump the brakes. They haven't said it. Taylor, I don't know where you are on that, but they finally have a marketable star, like a huge star. Tell the world. And as far as pressure, that's for him to deal with. Man, I've been doing this a long time. Don't put it on me. He's mature enough to handle it.
He can handle it 100%. Even speaking with him the several times that I have, he can handle the media pressure. He can handle all the pressure that's on him. And I think that'll make him thrive and that'll help him grow. And yes, you want to shelter a 15-year-old a little bit, but there comes a point where he's going to be able to handle it, and it's sort of he knew at 12 and 13, and his family knew at 12 and 13 that there was going to be pressure, there was going to be spotlight, because he was a good, talented player. But in order to be the best, you're going to have that spotlight on you, and I think him and his family are well aware of that. And I think he has good leaders in his back pocket and good resources that he can go to them and say, hey, it's too much, or I'm fine with this, or whatever it might be. But he'll be fine.
Well, Janelle in Saskatoon, she's a Blades fan, says no reason to even hype him. He's just that freaking good. No, Janelle, you know that because you watch the games. It's for everybody outside that's not paying attention. It's to get people's attention. This is going on in your backyard. Turn the television on.
See, I think it would be, if the Pats were selling tickets, we would see a ton of more marketing, a ton of more exposure to sell tickets and get that rink sold out every night to watch this game. To watch this kid play, because he's only going to be around for a couple of seasons.
He's going to be gone before you know it if you don't pick up and pay attention now.
And so with all the games being broadcast on TV and on the stream, it's sort of hard to market, buy a ticket and come see the Wonder Kid. So I get why there's been a little bit less marketing around him, but I also don't think
absolutely.
I don't think that's a bad thing too.
Well,
especially as he gets his feet wet in the league.
We at Access Now Television are marketing it, because I was leaving the hockey arena last night, and holy smokes, they don't fool around. That's where everybody's getting their vaccination shots, is the same parking lot as Mosaic Stadium and the Brand Center. It can get a little busy during the day, and then you got to go out the one way. So I'm coming around Mosaic Stadium, big billboard of Connor Bedard, but it's for Access Now, not the Pats. Because we've got ratings. We need a reason for you to turn on the television, and it's Connor Bedard. And if I compare him to Wayne Gretzky, I'll compare him to Wayne Gretzky or Marcel Dion, because you know what? You're now talking about it, whether you like it or not. That's the whole idea. For some reason, something's erupted in the comments section here from our viewers regarding The Rock and Jim Hobson. What did Nelson Vo do? From Nelson. He is our content creator here, director of content creation. So we shouldn't hype and market our stars like Bernard? Ask the CFL how that strategy has gone for them. Oh, believe me, arguing with the riders over the years. You build these guys up to be stars, and then we have to deal with their heads, and we got to pay them. That's a you problem, not a me problem. Don't miss those arguments. Roger, writing from Manitoba. So if the Bombers lost $7 million is the Grey Cup champs, does that mean the CFL lost roughly $63 million last year, or am I totally wrong? Well, if you believe the numbers, and I'm not saying Winnipeg's fudged the numbers, but I don't believe all the numbers from all 9 teams, that would be a reasonable thought, wouldn't it? It's bad no matter what, right?
Yeah, every team's going to be in the several million to keep staff and to keep a facility with basically zero revenue. So the Riders, what did Reynolds forecast, $10 million that they were going to be out?
That's why I thought the Bombers' $7 million was light. I thought they'd lose more.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know how much staff they laid off. I don't know if they've been public about that. So there's a bit of an expense, but you still got to keep the facility and keep the team operational, and then you got all the bonuses and stuff too. So.
Tell me how much time before we go, guys. Can I just get your thought on this? 90 seconds before we bring in Moose for overtime. But the idea of an all-Canadian CFL with 4 to 6 American players, let's just say 6. Do you think it could fly?
Not anymore. No, or it would take a really long time, and I don't think it ever will, because you don't see a lot of support in U Sports and in Canada West football. There's the diehard football fans that'll go watch a Rams game, but those are the people, and it's not like there's no lack of talent, and it even goes through hockey. U Sports hockey has a ton of talent, male and female. U Sports football has a ton of talent, but those guys aren't the stars that people are willing to pay money for, right?
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly. And you want a lot of the NFL cast-offs and guys who are going to make the jump to the NFL, those are the people who you want to pay money to see, who a regular fan wants to pay money to see, whether it's this NFL cast-off coming back, or he had a cup of coffee with 3 NFL teams and he's coming to play here, he must be pretty good. But why didn't he make it there? So as opposed to a U Sports player graduating. And I think there's room for U Sports players in Canada, and even junior players in Canada to make their mark, but I don't think a league dominated by them being the majority of the players would sell as many tickets.
I know what you're saying. The football would be fine. It's about marketing it.
100%.
Will Canadians...
There's talented players, and the football would be fine. The product would be fine.
But would Canadians buy it? I think we're past that. Taylor, always good seeing you. I appreciate our visits. Thank you. Moose will be in here for overtime. Hang on. It's coming up after this break. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports talk. For Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
If you could spend less time in the field, more time with your family, and make more money at the same time, would you do it? Verge's farm operations planning technology eliminates unnecessary turns, improves in-field communication, application accuracy, and reduces deadheading. Finish fields faster, burn less fuel, and use fewer inputs, all in one simple-to-use, web-based solution. Do more of what you want, when you want, with the people you love by subscribing to Launchpad by Verge today.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
It's overtime, and we got plenty of time for it. And look, everybody, Moose is back. Guess who's back? Moose.
Back again.
Back again. Moose, did you get a haircut?
In the break.
In the last hour and a half?
Yes.
Listen, there's a lot of topics that we could get to for the face-off, for the Ultimate Fan Zone and Mad Greek.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need to clip that for social media. There's one comment that's coming up that I will debate here. But just so you know, Wayne in Victoria says, how is only having 6 Americans on the CFL roster going to save the league? The problem is not allowing fans in the stands. I don't understand the reasoning for an outdoor stadium not being allowed at least 50% capacity. Listen, we don't know either. But take it up with Dr. Tam and Dr. Bonnie Henry and Dr. Shahab. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don Mitchell, our Navy friend, had a point for Taylor, and Taylor left. He works for Global Television, of course. But Donald Mitchell says, Taylor, who's responsible for us not caring about Canadians in our universities? And then he's gone. We debated this before he left the room. I'm like, does it matter? Does it really matter? We're here. And I relate everything to the recovery world, and while it's not the same, it's kind of the same. It doesn't matter how we got here. The question is, how are we going to get out? See what I'm saying? You didn't necessarily agree with that. And this is not the face-off. You said somebody needs to examine why we don't care about Canadian university sports like we used to.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't matter what sport, what league,
or
what
even
team.
the CFL, yeah.
Yeah, CFL, U Sports, you name it. The people ultimately responsible are the teams in the leagues, right? If your business isn't succeeding, it's your fault.
There you go.
I mean, it's not the market's fault. It's not the fans' fault for not buying tickets. It's your fault. Because if you create a product that people want to see and you market it and people fill the building, Taylor and the news outlets will cover it. If your building's full and there's excitement and people are talking about it, they'll cover it at scale. So it starts at home.
Well, yes, and I got to say this about the teams. I'm not going to point the finger at any that hold events and things and don't tell us. You know what I mean? Like I find out secondhand that they had this event going on, whereas because there are leagues filling up our inbox every day. I get up in the morning with a buffet of sports information, right? Mm-hmm. You can't just hold your event and then, why didn't you cover it? I didn't know what was going on, dude. And that reminds me, Scott Barney, the head coach and general manager of the Humboldt Broncos, now that I think about it, texted me this morning. Hi, Rod. Hope all is well. We continue to love the show here in Humboldt. Wondering if you could be able to give us a plug for our Lottery of Cash. It's our final 2 days. And here it is, the deadline to enter this Wednesday, 7 p.m. $100,000 grand prize along with 10 other cash prizes. And there's a 50-50 add-on. The pot is currently up to $75,000. Please help support junior hockey in Saskatchewan. Call 1-833-733-2021. Write that down. This is for the Humboldt Broncos Lottery of Cash. Call 1-833-733-2021. They'll take your call, and you can purchase your tickets in the Lottery of Cash for the Humboldt Broncos. There you go. They got in front of our face. Thank you, Barn Dog. Support the Humboldt Broncos in the SJHL. Was it that hard?
No.
We don't really get a lot of information from the university leagues with what's going on with their programs. Other leagues are very aggressive. So it is on those teams. Sorry. And that's why for us and Taylor and me and Darren to sit and debate who's responsible, why? Everybody's pointing the finger, eh?
That's right.
And then, so the guy asked, will the Buffalo Sabres win another game this year? And I can't remember where it was. By the way, Janelle says, my kids have a moose stuffy, and we now call him Darren. Wayne Jones is watching on YouTube, and he says, will the Buffalo Sabres win another game this season? That's the face-off. They got 18 losses in a row. Yeah, we got a lot of losses. But the record is 30. Winnipeg Jets, 1980-81. So they got a ways to go. Yeah, they'll win another game. I don't know who it'll be against. My God, they have to. We're only halfway through the season.
They have to win another game.
Yeah.
They can't get to the record. They can't get to 30. Can't. Won't happen. They've been close. Had a couple go to OT. They've been really close. And when they start getting towards 30, when they get closer, people are going to start talking about it. And then that, not that they're not embarrassed now, but that factor starts coming in. It becomes real. There'll be a little more urgency in their game. They'll win another game. I know we're on the same side of this one,
it's
but
okay.
They'll win again.
That's okay. We don't have to fight every time we have a face-off.
That's right.
You know? And it's brought to you, where the heck is it? Oh, the Ultimate Fan Zone of Moose Jaw, your one-stop shop for the sports fans on your list. Visit the Man Cave, downtown Moose Jaw, or on Facebook. And the Mad Greek and Moose Jaw, available for licensed dining, takeout, or delivery. Head to the madgreekeatery.com for more information. If you're trying to find the Mad Greek on social media, it's under I ate at the Mad Greek. And I love it so much. Johnny Atreides put some great photos on of their items. Oh,
I'm hungry.
I know. Good time for lunch.
Yeah.
What do we got here? 30 seconds, so I can read Nelson Hakowich's message. The better question is, where was the shift? TSN and Sportsnet used to show U Sports and regularly show CHL hockey. Then somewhere in the late 90s, early 2000s, American sports started invading, and the CanCon went by the wayside. If you're worried about Americanization of Canadian sports fans, blame the networks, okay? We'll see you tomorrow on the RP Show with some very opinionated guys. Truth's in the coffee. It's Truth Serum.